After playing the slow, character-driven story of Red Dead Redemption 2, I wanted something a little more wild, something a little more badass and actiony. And that's what Evil West is. Great combat, fun visuals, but the story and characters are pretty nothing. It's a trade-off. I'm not saying one is better than the other. Okay, actually, I am. Objectively, Red Dead Redemption 2 is the better game by a lot. But I think Evil West is a good game, and it's got kind of the opposite going for it. It's Wild West with monsters and over-the-top action and very linear gameplay. It's not trying to be a masterpiece. It's trying to be a lot closer to something like the amazing action hack-and-slash titles of the 6th and 7th generation of gaming. It's a linear level-by-level game, and to be honest, I love that. Don't get me wrong, I love me a big, sprawling, open-world game, love those. But I also just love those level-by-level linear games, and I'm more likely to replay those as well. Now I will say a good part of my enjoyment with this one is I would just play it for a couple of hours while I waited for my laundry to be done, and sitting there for a couple of hours playing it was a lot of fun. However, if I was to sit there and try to play through the whole thing in one sitting, I can see that getting boring. And that's for a couple of reasons. First off, the story and characters are all pretty one-note. Characters have one personality trait, that's all. And it's not even done in a fun way, just kind of boring. It works. I could see it in action movies and stuff, but it isn't good. It isn't memorable, and it doesn't hold your attention for long, but it's good enough to understand what's going on. We work for the US government in the Wild West times, hunting vampires, werewolves, and other such monsters so local folk don't know they exist. We're a special institute called the Rainier Institute, and our father is the leader of that group. We are basically a super soldier killing machine of these monsters. And also our father got bitten by a vampire and is becoming one. And there's an evil vampire child who is our main villain. Now this sounds like an interesting premise, and it kinda is, plus the alternate history of it is cool too, with edited photos of actual historical figures with fake characters from the game. That's all cool. The issue with it is that is it. Other than our dad changing to a vampire, nothing of note really happens other than we just slaughter monsters and then eventually the main monster. That's really it, and that's fine. We don't need a great story or characters. There's plenty of games that are great action games that don't have that. Streets of Rage is one of my favorite kind of titles, and that doesn't have much of a story. It's just a really nice bonus to, have a story. But the gameplay is what matters, and here's where it actually shines. The combat is fun as fuck. At first I wasn't sure about the combat layout they gave me, but no, it's actually fantastic. The thing is, there's just so many parts of combat with absolutely every button utilized, giving me so much options in my moves. And the way they would drip feed me new moves at first had me worried, because I was I don't know if I like this or not. But by level 2 or so, I was starting to figure out what's up, and it kind of kicked ass. You gotta move around a lot. You gotta use all your gadgets and kill things. Those things drop power-ups, and those are important. And there's a rhythm to your movement you gotta get into. In a lot of ways, it kind of felt like that 2016 Doom, where you kill, you grab items, you move over and over again, and that's all you do, and it's fun as hell. I love the gore, the combat is well done, and most of the time if I fucked up it was my own fault, not the fault of the game. My only complaint is when you go to aim, it locks onto a target automatically, and that might not be what I'm aiming for. Usually it's perfect, completely fine, but in the case of me wanting to shoot TNT instead of an enemy, it can suck ass. There are multiple guns to use, multiple melee moves to use, and you can throw a grenade that creates a electric twister. Also, at a couple points, it's literally an on-rail shooter. Again, I could see you getting bored of this if you play too long, because it's mostly just combat. I mean, there are puzzles, if you can call them that, but they're very quick sections that you can get right through very quickly and get back to combat, which I personally love, since I've never been big into puzzles. But yeah, if you play a couple of hours a week like I did, it's a good one to play while you wait for your laundry to be done. And I know I compared it to Doom. Visually, it kind of looks like Doom as well. I honestly really like the visuals and art style. It looks fantastic, and there are some places that I feel are etched into my mind as just a cool looking area. I love my dude's outfit too. Like, even if there was a create a character thing, I could see me going for this outfit. So here's a weird comparison, but hear me out. This is a Hellboy game. You work for a secret society and you fight monsters. Check. You have a special arm that's not only very useful for fighting, but is the key to something bigger. Check. You have a long ass coat and big guns. Check. And you fight with your guns and you use strong ass punches. Check. I know it's not a Hellboy game, but this is my favorite Hellboy game. Anyway, we fight the final boss, which apparently only 8% of players have beat. That's what my Xbox achievement said, which is nuts. Like, I think this game was the right amount of challenging for me. I could see it being too hard for someone else, or maybe too easy, but you can turn the difficulty down to easy. Absolutely no shame in doing that, or turn it up if you want. I don't care. Play the one that's most fun to you. It's just crazy that only 8% beat it. I played on normal, but yeah, it feels like such a small amount to beat your game. I mean, like if I spent a bunch of time making a game and only 8% of people who played it beat it, I don't know, I feel it's stuck. It's stuck. I mean, I guess with PC and PlayStation, maybe there's more, but still. Also, my build made the final areas a lot more doable. I guess I could see you doing like a really bad build and fucking up. However, there's so many opportunities to like just straight up reset your stats and perks and such if you're not feeling it. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, this is a fun playthrough if you really like combat. But if that isn't your thing and you're looking for something with more depth, then this one isn't for you. Well, I didn't plan on recording my audio this way. I'm not sure whether I have a job or not presently, so I'm just kind of fucking laying in bed, all depressed, don't want to fucking get up, pretty fucking pissy. So instead, what you got is me talking on this fucking lav mic. Deathwatch is a Wild West game that came out on the 6th gen consoles, and I played the PlayStation 2 version, and I gotta say, I'm surprised it wasn't more popular. Aesthetically, it reminds me of the PC game Blood, if you've ever played that, which actually just got a remaster and I need to go play that. But yeah, I love the aesthetics. It's very horror, Wild West, and that's cool. But despite looking like Blood, that's not what this game wants to be. No, this game wants to be Halo, like so fucking bad. And I don't mean just because it's a first-person shooter. No, let me point to 3 different things to convince you, and the third one's a big one. Point number one. There's not a huge amount of enemy variety, but they utilize what they have well, including stuff that Halo does. Like there's suicide bombers, just the way Halo uses grunts. Point 2, you got this big ass floaty jump, similar to Master Chief's jumps, but worse and not as accurate. Those jumps are a big thing that separates Halo from some other first person shooters. Point number 3, and this is the big one, your girlfriend dies and turns blue and lives in your head now to give you advice while you run around and shoot things. She is your Wild West Cortana. Despite it wanting to be Halo, it doesn't play nearly as good. In fact, I thought it played bad until I learned it better. The aiming isn't very good and doesn't work the way that, say, Halo does. In Halo, you move to where you want to be and you use your aim stick to aim at where you want to shoot. Bang, bang, boom. In Darkwatch, you move with one stick, you aim in the general direction you want to shoot in, and then you move a second time to make sure that it gets on the sight. If you try to move the aim thing accurately, you're not going to get it. You got to move it in that direction and then move your character to where it's going to be. It's weird, but once I got used to it, it wasn't a big problem. Plus, if you use a shotgun or guns that shoot a lot, it's far less noticeable. You really only notice it
a lot when you're trying to be accurate with like a sniper rifle or something. But for the most part, combat feels fine. The platforming is garbage, but you don't gotta do it for much of the game at all. It's just too damn floaty to be precise. And yeah, Halos is also floaty, but I have built in the Halo 3 custom maps that required platforming, and the platforming of Halo 3, despite being floaty, was a lot more precise than this shit. Story wise, there's a dude named Lazarus who wants to do bad shit. I don't recall exactly what his plan is, or even if he said, but he killed your girlfriend and turned you vampire. As a vampire, you have your regular health bar and your shield that you get back by staying away from bullets for it to go back up. Exactly like Halo. You also get special powers. Some are for if you are a good guy, and some are for if you are a bad guy. Because there's these Bioshock moments where you either free someone's soul or you don't, and it will give you good or bad points. And I did my run as a good guy because the powers looked better. Specifically, there's one that grants you temporary armor that's really useful in these situations of being swarmed but needing to hit a specific target. But even more useful than that was this lightning blast that just goes and kills all the enemies around you. It's so fucking useful and overpowered, and I love it, and I think it's called the Vindicator. But anyway, after becoming a vampire, we got brought into this group called the Dark Watch, and they seem to hunt paranormal things and also have superior technology and also are both the good guys and the bad guys. Straight up, they're the Wild West Brotherhood of Steel. Like, you work with them to kill a bunch of monsters and save people, and then you also watch them kill innocent people just for fun. Now, it doesn't get explored too much here. If there was ever a sequel where you went up against Dark Watch, I think that could be kind of fun. But in this game, you are part of Dark Watch, and you basically get assigned a new girlfriend, which is weird for many reasons. I mean, she kind of assigned herself, but still. Her name is Tala, and she also fights with you. Another neat thing is you have a whole base for accepting missions and weapon loadouts and such, and I think that's cool. You only get it in the middle of the game though, and then it's gone, because it turns out Tala betrayed you. You see, she took us way up a mountain to have sex with her, and then she cut her neck to make it bleed so that we'd bite her and turn her into a vampire. And it's a good thing that worked, because what would happen if it didn't? She just endlessly has sex with us, hoping we bite her, or she disguises herself as a giant fruit and then says, "Gotcha!" when we bite into it. I don't know, man. What would happen if my guy was gay? What if he was asexual? Then what, Tala? Then fucking what? But it worked. And also, I've never heard of this sex scene. And that's not me like being like, oh, I gotta know every sex scene. That's just like sex scenes at the time this came out were so fucking controversial. They were always like, oh my god, they're gonna corrupt everybody. We can't let anybody know sex exists. So I don't know how this one flew under the radar. When she became a vampire, she didn't need us anymore, and she attacked the Death Watch base. We go off and we start killing everything. And while a majority of the game is first person shooting, some of it is not. There's one level where you drive around in a Wild West version of the Mako from Mass Effect and you just shoot shit. There's sections where you ride on your horse and you fight shit on your horse. And there's sections where you gotta be careful to not shoot the innocent people, but to shoot the enemies, which kind of reminded me of those Sega Dreamcast or Sega Saturn light gun shooters, if you know what I'm talking about. Eventually, you fight the monster Lazarus. He's like regular Lazarus, then he turns monstery. You kill him, and then Tala's the main bad guy. She's monster vampire Tala. She's the final boss. She looks like a dark seducer from Elder Scrolls Battlespire. It's a fine fight. Sorry, this was just in my head, but we had sex with this chick. But our Cortana girlfriend was in our head that whole time. What a weird dynamic. How does she feel about that? How do we feel about that? How does what anyway? Darkwatch is a horny game with bad writing, but fun gameplay and combat and deserves to be more loved than it is. It's nowhere close to a masterpiece or a great game, but it's a good game that deserves to at least be played and remembered. Was Red Dead Redemption not for you? Do you need something more action packed and chaotic? May I present Rising Zan the Samurai Gunman on the PlayStation 1, a Wild West samurai story. The dude's name is Johnny and he went to Japan. He became a samurai. He returned home. He calls himself Zan now, and he is here to fight off ninjas who took over his town. And what a kick ass sounding theme he has! It's super 80s. Zan also is a little full of himself.
And by the way, my name isn't Johnny. It's the super ultra sexy hero, Zan.
What's more is after each mission, it gives you a score for various categories, and one of the categories is sexy, and that's just so fucking silly. When Zan sees his old friends, they're like, "Hey, Johnny, why are you being a weeb?" And he's like, "I'm not Johnny, I'm Zan."
Johnny?
Huh?
You're Johnny? No, you're alive.
My name is Zan. I don't know anybody named Johnny.
What are you talking about? It's Val, your neighbor. Don't tell me you've forgotten. What the hell are you wearing? I'll forget it. You did save us.
Anyway, Zan does actually handle shit though. He's just not like some cosplaying weeb. He actually is winning fights. The swordplay is very hack and slash, like a PS2 game before the PS2, which I think is very ambitious. There's also a pistol you can shoot quickly, and look, it really is a PS2 game before the PS2. And while it's cool they were ambitious, there are a ton of problems. First on, the lock-on doesn't always work, and that's annoying because it is your only way to look forward since you have no camera controls. And the camera is super unintuitive. It's not as bad at the beginning, but the further you go, the harder it is to see anything. And it's just the second your enemy moves past you, if you weren't locked on, then good luck finding him again. You gotta use that little radar on the side. This might be one of the worst cameras I've ever dealt with. Even more than like Sonic Adventure. Because at least that one you could like kinda get to move and kinda get to move around when you're jumping about and such. No, not this one. Honestly, your hardest enemy is the camera. It can easily make a smooth run of the level suddenly suck because you can't see. And that sucks, because after the first couple levels, every level after that is basically a boss rush of just fighting a boss, then moving to the next room and fighting the next one. Over and over again till you beat the level. No checkpoints. And sure, it sucks a bit, but you get better and better and learn what to do, and then it's not so bad. Is what I would say if the camera wasn't also an enemy. Like, you can be doing great and then the camera will fuck you up, and now you might as well start your level from the beginning again. At least in most hard side scrollers before the PlayStation, the camera was just like flat, a 2D ass thing. You could see what you need, unless it was coming like directly off the camera and your screen crunch and all that shit. But here there's like an element of luck involved. And if it gets too bad, I just run around trying to get it to go where it wants, but it doesn't always do that. Another thing I hate is these all button presses. I assume it's telling me to press all buttons as fast as I can, so I do that. But I lose every time anyway, and I've never figured it out, which means anytime this happens, I'm going to take damage. I fucking press all the buttons. I press them rapidly and quickly, and I don't know how I'm failing. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. At one point, you play baseball too, and that's kind of funny. And then there's also this on rails kart section. There's a bit of Sonic going on here too, and I mean, not just in some of the musical tracks, but I can use my sword like a helicopter the way Tails uses his as one. There's a casino section where you gotta beat the casino to continue. Our main bad guy is a scientist with a big mustache who gets in various machines to fight you. I mean, get a load of this. The other villain's name is Loki. Not Loki, it's spelled Loki, but it's Loki, and I hate it. After beating the game, you can play as the daughter of your sensei from Japan. Her name is Sapphire, and she is worse than Zan, mainly due to no helicopter jump. Rising Zan Samurai Gunman is not a good game, and I wouldn't recommend it. However, if it got a remake where they fixed some things, mainly the camera, then it could totally be worth it. It's by far the silliest game on this list, and I had fun with it about half the time.